This is the video from the ExxonMobil where you can see the bullet holes in the glass there. Tough to see at this distance clearly, but they are there. There they are. You can see them right there, and that was resulting, of course, in that entire action in which those individuals or that person was killed. The news conference is going on right now. Let's go ahead and check in with that news conference and see if we can have video of that. I hear something, but I don't see anything at this point. We're still looking at video. We're trying to get that for you, but you can hear him talking in Spanish in the background as police. There is Chief Art Acevedo.
Okay, with that, I'm going to turn over to Chief Holloway in case you want to say anything about the crashes.
Just real quick, I won't go into too much, but I think if you look at the route the suspect took, that you'll agree with me that the officers displayed remarkable restraint and obviously did not fire until it was absolutely necessary, and that can be directly attributed to their training. Houston has excellent training. We train often with Houston. Bellaire has excellent training, and it also goes to the professionalism of the officers involved. But this is quite a distance to follow an armed suspect before you have to employ that level of force. And with that, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Any other questions?
Right at the end of rush hour, I mean, this could have been suspicions after the traffic and all that.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have shootings and a guy like this, he clearly has no intention of surrendering. I mean, never drops the gun, shoots at a victim that he's already victimized once, having no regard for the authority of our police officers. We're just very fortunate that the only life that was lost was the suspect.
Yeah, so the eyewitnesses said this all happened at slow speed.
I can't hear you.
The eyewitnesses were suspected that this all happened at slow speed.
Well, remember something. We've got eyes on an armed guy that we already know shot at people. We're not going to be like the Keystone Cops. If we're trying to keep a distance, we're trying to keep safe. There's not that much cover out here, if you can imagine. It's a very volatile situation. It's a dynamic situation. So the officers, they weren't running around here like Chicken Little. They were giving commands. They were being tactical. They were trying to move from different locations of cover as best they could. And when this guy is trying to hijack people, carjack people armed, after he's already shot at another innocent person at the Exxon, at one point our lieutenant fired after he continued to disregard all the orders and commands to protect the public, and the other officers are really exposed out here. And like Chief Holloway said, if you think about where this started, with his officers on that freeway, and where it ended up right behind me, a lot of time went by in terms of distance where our officers did everything they could to stop this threat to the public and to themselves. And at one point, obviously, a decision was made by our lieutenant, who's been on again for 22 years, to discharge his firearm at this armed suspect before we had another person injured or killed by a person that had no intention, clearly through his actions, of complying with the lawful authority of police officers. Anything else?
Did you say
What?
Did you say there was an HPD officer or a Bellaire?
The only shots were fired. The only shots fired in this event, in the event at the Exxon, the suspect fired shots at the Exxon. And the only person that fired a shot here, several shots, was a member of the Houston Police Department, a 22-year veteran who's a lieutenant. And I'm going to just say this because there are a lot of critics of police that think that we just come out here and we don't care about human life and the sanctity of life. I've talked to my lieutenant. He's shaken up, just like almost 100% of the time. His heart's aching. Despite the fact that based on what we've seen so far, what we know, he acted professionally and appropriately, he's hurting. And he's hurting because he had to take a life. And so my heart goes out to the loved ones of this suspect who, but for the grace of God, for all of us, where our kids can end up meeting the wrong person, going down the wrong path, or get involved in drugs, or get involved in mental illness. My heart goes out to whoever loves this person, and we have not identified him yet. But my heart also goes out to everyone involved, including the woman that's just trying to earn a living at the Exxon gas station, and a guy that I can almost assure you, once we find out this man's history, it won't be his first rodeo. And there's a good chance, and I'm looking to have.
All right, you're listening to a very passionate defense there by a police chief, Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo, talking about this situation that began as a robbery on Willow Bend, now near South Post Oak, turned into a chase, and eventually ended with, as we are learning now, a 22-year veteran of the Houston Police Department having to take that suspect down.
Yeah, and he was very clear, Chief Art Acevedo, that no doubt this guy was a threat. He had a gun. He had already shot out the ExxonMobil station. He was attempting to carjack other individuals as well with that gun. And Lieutenant said, he's speaking for the lieutenant, said they had to take him down. There was no other option because they had given him several opportunities to drop the weapon. And apparently he did not, according to the chief. And then he was shot and killed. Now, you saw also Bellaire chief was also there. That he didn't say much, but he kind of described the situation because it is taking place in Bellaire. But HPD was involved in the shooting, so that's why they are speaking.
And we do have a crew there at the scene. They are taking all of this information down for us, and we will hear from Christine Dobbin in just a few minutes. But first, we want to talk about that huge traffic nightmare that has been created by all of this. And for that, we turn to our traffic anchor, Catherine Whaley, to talk about
the Galleria area. That's happening right at the end of the morning rush. And I want to take you up to Sky 13 to give you a live look at what the scene looks like right now. And as you can see, they've begun to open up a couple of those right lanes heading northbound toward the Galleria area. So if you're watching this in Bellaire and Meyerland and South Houston, trying to use the 610 West Loop, that backup stretches for miles. And we do have some alternate routes for you. You can use Chimney Rock, you can use South Rice. Part of the feeder road is open, but you are seeing those heavy delays stretching all the way back to South Post Oak, where the 610 West Loop becomes the 610 South Loop. I want to bring you back here to give you a look at what else is happening around town. The other big